So I've been asked to speak specifically about the role of a National Park Authority board member, what inspired me to become one, to share my perspectives on the type of decisions that come to the board, the difference I feel that the Park Authority makes to local communities and the businesses in the Cairngorms area, as well as to the long-term protection and enhancement of the natural environment, also to offer any advice I'd like to share with a future National Park Authority. I said fine to that. Then I realised I was being asked to do it in less than 5 minutes. So I'll apologise if this seems like a stream of consciousness. First, a bit about the context. I'm new to direct involvement in the national parks. I've been watching their ups and downs since they were founded. I worked as a journalist for 40 years, the last 30 as a BBC reporter, editor and manager. But I've only been a member of the Cairngorms board since June this year. I was appointed by the minister, and my fellow board members elected me as their convener just a few weeks later. So what I've got to say is with the benefit of fairly fresh eyes. First, the constitutional bit. As board members, our main role is to agree long-term objectives for the national park. As you've heard, they're expressed through a partnership plan. Basically, board members set priorities for the Park Authority, and we make sure that they are delivered. Now, that obviously involves scrutiny of what the staff do, and they're accountable through their chief executive, in our case, Grant, who's just had to leave us, and his senior management team. Board members have a really, really important role in making sure that both the natural environment and local communities are cared for. Our own board is a fairly diverse bunch, everyone from ecologists through to local authority councillors, and we've got 3 farmers. The youngest of those is in his 20s. What attracted me to the role? Well, who wouldn't be attracted by a mission like that? In my case, after retiring from the BBC, I became chair of a conservation charity looking after the River Dee in Aberdeenshire. That gave me an insight into the incredible support the National Park is providing as an active partner, and the really important stuff we can do working together. It's addressing some of the big challenges that we're facing, from biodiversity loss and climate change to the issues facing the people who live and work in our area. On that last point, I've been struck by the gratitude of the Cairngorms business community for the help that the National Park provided through the worst of the pandemic. They faced a tough time, as did other rural businesses. And as you've heard from Gavin, our board is also a planning authority, so we call in the very small number of planning applications that raise significant issues for the aims of the National Park. And it's maybe important here to deal with one myth, and Karen sort of touched on this a short while ago, and also raised by Drew, that our national parks are about stopping things from happening. We encourage appropriate job creation. We work hard to promote the right kind of housing. As we've been hearing, one of the biggest challenges facing most of us, and certainly in the Cairngorms, as Karen outlined, we help to make things happen. We have a population of just over 18,000. And as Grant mentioned, more than 2,000 new homes have been built during the lifetime of the national park. We need a lot more, especially affordable homes. We're partnering with other organisations to help, and we're exploring completely new approaches that could help locally and nationally. And this is a huge personal priority. All of this is before we get to the nature part of our role as board members. We know that we can only tackle the big challenges if we deliver change on a landscape scale. And that means board members taking 2 approaches that might seem slightly contradictory. The first is showing ambition and taking a leadership role. Change can sometimes seem threatening, so board members also have a vital role to play in listening to community concerns and providing strategic leadership that navigates a way through. As for my advice to any new National Park Authority, it's just that: be ambitious, but do everything in your power to take your communities with you. And again, Karen touched on that theme. It's a cliche, but it's absolutely true that nature and people are two sides of the same coin. Our aim is to make sure that they both thrive together. And obviously, I've barely scratched the surface of the role of board members in this quick scamper through. But thanks for listening.